Yoshinobu today, how important just is the first inning and how telling will that be just for you in regard to kind of what you're seeing from him and maybe the adjustments he's made from the first game of the series?
It's an important inning. I think that, both offenses like to strike first. Setting the tone by throwing up a 0 would be huge. Also, it kind of gets us into the game, gets us up to hitting. And also just kind of seeing where he's at emotionally and with his stuff. So I'm like everyone else, just curious to see how he's going to come out, but feel that he's ready for this moment. I don't think he's going to run from it, and I think he's going to be really good tonight.
Put Juan in the second half.
Dave, how did you guys land on the decision to go with Yamamoto as opposed to some of your other options?
Well, I think that if you look at Yoshinobu, he's on his regular rest. Jack, it would be a regular rest for him, which is shorter still. We don't have the same as far as bullpen availability as we did as far as up downs and all that stuff. So I think that kind of realizing that, Yoshinobu was here to be a top end starter, and this is his time, and I feel that we have really viable candidates, behind him. But I still believe that it's certainly, we all feel good about the decision for him to start.
In a winter going home, even how aggressive are you going to be with your bullpen behind him, and is Flaherty kind of an option if you get need him?
Jack's certainly an option, but I do believe that the guys that have been in the bullpen all year are just as capable, if not more than capable. I would say more than capable than what Jack could do. And so to have Jack, being ready, if needed, certainly. But I feel that with Yoshinobu and our guys, and again, I'm just going to watch the game like all of us and kind of see, how he's throwing the baseball, what type of bats those guys are having, and then kind of make decisions, going forward.
How did the relievers come out of playing catch yesterday? Is it, like, when you talk about availability, is it more just like how long they can go rather than, guys being up or down?
Correct. They're all up. Everyone's up, and it's kind of then baking in, how much they can give us, and then you got to layer in effectiveness and all that stuff. Yeah.
And then why do you think the first inning has been a struggle for Yoshinobu at times this year? And are there things going into tonight that you guys change there or emphasize on to try to clean that up?
I don't know the answer. I think that I think every starting pitcher would say that the first inning is the toughest inning. I don't know the stats, but I'm sure that the first inning is an inning that teams typically score. Pitchers are trying to get their feel, get into the game, the flow of the game, and so it's a tough inning. I think for Yoshinobu, it's just kind of from the outset, it's not a 110 pitch exercise, 100 pitch exercise. Let's go out there and rip it from pitch one. And so I think that with that mindset, I think that'll bode well.
Do you have a range for how long you want him to go tonight, or is it going to be reading and reacting?
Reading, reacting. I think the game situation, the scoreboard will kind of tell a lot.
Dave, 4 games in, what's been different about the way this team has competed differently in this postseason as opposed to postseasons of the past?
I think, I think that obviously I can pull from 2020 when we won it all. I just think that there's a relentlessness, a refusal to lose, and just kind of, whereas you're competing and there's not a person that's not going to say they're not competing, but I think that there's a different level of you're just not going to lose. And regardless of circumstance, and I've seen that from our guys this year. I believe in this team more than any team I've had. So how that manifests tonight, I don't know. I don't think no one knows. But I feel very confident that we're prepared. We're going to give those guys everything and more than they can handle. And I expect to win this game tonight. And I know every single guy in there does too.
Put Mike Stenley on the ring.
Dave, how much has Wade Triman's dominance over the last 5 or 6 weeks changed the dynamics of your bullpen?
It's huge. It's huge. I think that, I think there was a point sometime in the middle of the year where he was kind of scuffling a little bit. But he's pitched in huge ball games. And so to have him back to being dominant like he is has certainly made everyone else around him better. To be able to deploy him at any point in time to go multiples, right versus left. All that stuff has stabilized us. He's got a crazy good look in his eye as far as being possessed. And I think all those guys, honestly, I think 26 guys in that room feel that way, have that same look. But yeah, the guys in the pen, they're all kind of in that good spot.
Put a figure in the one center?
Yeah, Dave, but what went into going with Kike in center?
I just think that I was going to find a way to get him in there. Miggy Rowe, I think the mobility isn't there. The running, the bat's still in play, but I just wanted to make sure that Kike was in there, and I trust him anywhere on the diamond.
And you've now managed more or take all games than any manager ever. I mean, what do you look for in the hours that you have to winner take all games, or gives you good signs?
You can kind of feel if guys are afraid to fail. You just kind of it's a different feeling, There's not always tomorrow, like we always say in baseball. So that's a different feel. Just knowing the pulse of the guys. So I think that it's I didn't realize I have, but yeah, it's I don't know, it's a good spot to be in, if you're ready for it.
Back to one in the second round.
Dave, does Freddie have to go through like pregame stuff? Or
Yeah.
he's-
He will. He will. So right now he's in there. I feel good about him in there. He's still going to go through his routine, and if he doesn't go, then we'll adjust.
Hazel, third on the left.
Dave, back to Yoshinobu. Besides a clean first, what will tell you, maybe it's stuff-wise or the way he navigates the Padres lineup, that he's on top of his game?
It's the curveball. It's the split versus right versus left. It's the slider. It's the fastball command to the top, to the bottom. And, in a game like this, you just want to see as much, see what's working, see how those guys are reacting to his stuff. And, if he's locked in with his command, it's going to be a good night for us.
Take two more with Jack in the front and finish it back.
Will you give a pregame address today, or do anything different about just the way you talk with the guys leading up to the game?
No, I have one-off conversations. I kind of make my rounds. What's that called? Leadership by wandering. I kind of make my way around the clubhouse, the field. So I don't need to have a big meeting. No, we're good.
Hey, Doc, going back to Yamamoto, it seems like since spring training, there's been inconsistency to him. He's had his moments, he had the injury. Why do you think he didn't get the traction here in Major League Baseball coming over from Japan, better hitters? What's your opinion on it now that you have the whole season behind you?
I think certainly better hitters. I think he's learning and continues to learn the hitters here. Certainly the injury part of it, I thought his best outing was before he went on the IL in the middle of the season. But I think at the end of the day, we're making a bet on a guy to pitch the game of his life tonight. And so all that stuff, I don't know the answer. I think there's a combo to answer that question. Right. But our main concern is he's in a good spot physically and mentally and emotionally tonight, which we all feel he is. And so, yeah.
Well, he's here for 12 years. So, I mean, at some point, you have to really make an investment in him. Both, you've done it financially, and you have to make the investment into tonight too, don't you?
Yeah, and that's what we're doing tonight.
Yeah.
And I feel great about him making the start tonight. Yeah, in elimination.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
All right, thanks,
Okay,
Doc.
thanks, Doc.
All right, thanks, guys.
Thanks,
Good
Dave.
luck.
Thank you.